Ask your people for feedback. It'll help you understand why they come to you in the first place. It'll also help you understand um, what they like about your service, what they appreciate about your service, and also maybe what they don't like about it. So I've gotten into this habit at the end of our yearly wellness report of just asking people questions. You have rapport with them. They've been with you for, some people only a year, but lots of people who are at the report have been there for, 8, 10, 12, 15 years with you. And um, they, they have some information for you about keeping your practice going that you can easily tap into. So this time, I wanted to find out. I always have this. You might have this too. This internal dialogue about whether or not I should do a year-end wellness report and make it mandatory, or make it so that they can just come if they want to. But the people who just would come if they want to, our reports are at 10 a.m. in the morning, and so it's not convenient for anybody. And so uh, the people who are the busiest, who are the most stressed out, if you're asking them, hey, next visit, do you want to come in for this report? The people who need it are probably the people who are most likely to say no, because they're in the middle of being stressed out. So I said that to this group, and I said, to the group, I just asked, how many of you didn't want to come beforehand? And I said, be honest, like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. How many of you, didn't want to be here? And let's say there was 10. I think there was a little bit more. It was more than that, but let's say there was 10. 8 of them kind of went. They put their hand up a little bit, and then I just asked, how many of you it's because it was a inconvenient time? And most, lots of them put their hand up, and I said, how many of you because truthfully you just maybe didn't see the value in it, and you just didn't think that you necessarily needed it, or just wanted it, or that you kind of knew all the information. And almost all the hands went up. And then I said, and how many of you now, having been here, are glad that you came? And everybody's hand went up. And I said, don't give me the answer that you think I want to hear. Like, how many of you really got something out of this? Like, that it was a real investment of your time that was valuable for you? And they put their hand up. They all did. And then I said, anybody who wants to go can take off, but I'm going to ask a couple more questions if you're willing. And they all stayed. And I said, okay, so if those of you who got something out of it, what did you get out of it? And they shared what they got out of it. That was great. But then one guy offered something. I said, so I should keep it mandatory. And the one guy says, no, it shouldn't be mandatory. And I thought, okay, well, you just said that you didn't want to come, but you're really glad you did, and that it really is going to change your life. But it shouldn't be mandatory. He says, look, I feel, this is his words, I feel that you, now he's pointing at me, saying that you struggle with this. I feel that you would feel better about it if it was optional, but that everybody still came. I also feel, this is what he said, that it's important for people to understand that they need to, not that they understand, no, what did he say? He said, oh yeah, he says it's important that people get used to living with the consequences of their actions. And I thought about it for a minute. He said, me coming today was because you told me that I had this visit, and that it was just, I don't use the words mandatory, but it's just, that's when you have your results. I would have preferred the choice over it, but people need to understand that they need to live with the consequences of their decisions, not you. Your job is to give people all the information and give them choice, and I would hope that you would support them in whatever they decide. I thought, you know what? I really like that. I really like that a patient said that to me, that thought about it from that end, that understood and just pointed out to me the obvious, is that patients need to understand that there's consequences to their decisions, both good and bad. They make a bad decisions, there's consequence to it. They make a good decisions, there's a consequence to it, or there's an outcome for it. And our job really isn't in that territory. Our job is in the deliverance of an unbelievable product, and in the making it available for people, helping them understand what it is that we provide, and giving them a choice of whether or not to choose it. So one more lesson I learned from asking patients, right? So get into the habit of asking patients. They're going to give you insights about their life and how you can be a better doctor. It's a good lesson. Start asking them questions this week.